Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have a few little kind of small, kind of cool stories to go talk about over here, where we're seeing the PlayStation 5 going to try to take one of their biggest PlayStation basically kind of upholds. They want to go and try to sell as many consoles as they possibly can all throughout this next year. We also have some pretty big gaming drama that came out too as well, which a lot of folks once again are upset with. A lot of folks I kind of been noticing have been very, very upset and very anti on the brand new Jedi Survivors too as well, where once again the devs kind of seem like they had a little bit of an issue with that. Never fun to go and see. And as well, we just saw a lot of general, just big issues going on all throughout here. A few new games coming out throughout these next few weeks. Let's go and talk about this a little bit of a wind down and late night video. So you guys will stay tuned, relax, enjoy, give me your thoughts and comments down below. Leave a like as well. Check out the Twitter and Twitch down below and all the other various good usual stuff like the Amazon links for all the consoles, which will hopefully keep on helping out for Sony because we've seen so many of them kind of pick on up recently. And let's, without further ado, dive into the video itself. So very first and foremost, we had like some pretty interesting stuff when it came to the Sony, when it came to a lot of their like press calls, when it comes to them trying to give out information. And we may have mentioned this in passing in one of our prior videos, but it does kind of seem like Sony's trying to go and do the unthinkable. Sony right now has been doing phenomenal when it comes to sales, selling consoles, making consoles, doing consoles, or whatever it may go and be. And even crazy enough, it does seem like Sony is now trying to aim to go and sell 25 million PlayStation 5 units by April 2024. Now, in case you guys are kind of curious, most companies usually like to go do a fiscal year, so basically just using that same like full-on year of time to go and determine like where a game is, how a game's going to be, etc., etc. So right now, Sony is aiming now to sell 25 million consoles, and if you guys saw some of our videos from earlier on this weekend, they actually did go hit one of the biggest achievements ever for console gaming, where they pretty much hit like the hierarchy, like they pretty much like the very higher up when it comes to games and game sales, and they've sold over 6.3 million consoles in just one quarter. Don't forget, like some of the big console makers were celebrating just hitting 100 million total for a lifetime, and at this point I think we're getting like in the upper 30s right now for total PlayStation 5 sales. So a very, very big wide audience and very cool to see. So basically the platform holder says this will set a new record for the PlayStation console sales within the fiscal year. So basically for them, they're trying their best to make as much as they possibly can and sell as many consoles as they possibly can. So Sony plans to sell 25 million units of PlayStation 5s into retail in the current fiscal year. The company's chief financial officer, Hiroki Totoki, revealed the target during their earnings call, described by Seeking Alpha, following its solid results publishing this morning, saying it would be the highest ever for a PlayStation console in literal history. The last fiscal year ending March 31st, 2023, Sony initially aimed to ship 18 million units, but funny enough, a lot of us even back then, we weren't really assuming that was going to happen or even just thought it would happen in the first place. I was very impressed, like in all honesty, that we've been having so many sales. Like, don't forget, a year ago, we were barely seeing these on the shelves, and everyone was like, ha ha ha, sure, Sony, you'll totally sell 18 million consoles. Well, I myself have been shut up. They're doing pretty good. So basically for that one too, they had a chance to ramp up and get more production going on, and it somehow actually managed to reach over 19 million consoles, which was ridiculous to go and see. In terms of what will drive PlayStation's business in the year ahead, Tokoki actually highlighted Marvel's Spider-Man 2, which a lot of us keep on saying will probably be selling more games, getting more gamers, just their consoles, and overall probably be selling some of their bundles too as well. And of course, Totoki highlighted Marvel Spider-Man 2, and of course, well, Final Fantasy 16 too on top of that. And they also do want to go and push and mention they'll be doing more IPs as well, and also new catalog titles for PC. We've covered that throughout the past few days. So during the latest Q&A session, one analyst actually asked for more details on how Sony hopes to reach this 25 million target. This is more of the juicy information. The reason why we believe that this is possible is that the PS4 customers exist now, so they want to have a lot of people moving from the PlayStation 4 to the PlayStation 5, especially now that a lot of games are slowly becoming purely PlayStation 5 games, such as the Horizon Forbidden West DLC, new upcoming games in general, and of course, the console's a pretty good console. He also said we looked at how much would be switching, and there's also new customers too. We've been looking at that. So overall, they just think that the predictions are going to be high enough for them to go get those numbers. So when asked about the future of game consoles, Totoki said that having some kind of hardware at hand is necessary, although noted that some of the computing power could be done in the cloud in the future, which was also once again a big issue with the Activision and Microsoft kind of deals in their acquisition, where they still have no good deals here for PlayStation. They have no good deals for anything else, so kind of see that. In any case, some kind of client would be necessary to enjoy different games. So with the evolution of technologies and the hardware that matches the times, providing that type of hardware will create value. Finally, he asked why PlayStation's revenues are rising, but its profits are in decline, which also kind of makes sense too. We have a weird economy and all the other stuff too as well, saying, One is the game development costs are going up. So like paying the devs, the games are getting bigger, sometimes hosting costs, making engines and marketing, everything else. It does cost a lot of money. And I'm sure, especially because they have a very high standard, the quality testing, going back to revising, and of course, everything else is going to be very expensive. And also from a technical standpoint, the acquisition related costs are increasing this term, which probably also makes sense too, because we have been seeing Sony potentially wanting to buy out more businesses and companies, and I'm sure with Microsoft also being the fray, but more so with Microsoft's deal kind of going against it, that actually might mean that other side companies might be a little bit more profitable. So good examples, think like an Ubisoft or EA or all these mid-tier companies like a Square Enix. Well, if for some odd reason Activision wasn't bought, that's another $70 billion that Microsoft might go and invest into other companies. So just off the competition and speculation alone might also drive up the evaluation more so from an acquisition cost. I actually would love to make a proper video on that if you guys want to hear it. I love the financial talk for this type of stuff. But as well, that also means that Sony would also want to maybe compete and have to match it, kind of why they bought Bungie. So that one basically means the game development cost is going up because of the following reasons. The first-party software development is going to be strengthened, and the live services will be launched. And intentionally, we are enhancing this part, so that's why expenses are increasing. So basically a big chance or two as well is that they want to make sure the live service games are good, and they stay good, and they keep on being developed, which makes a lot of sense. They want to make sure people are playing their games nonstop, like a Fortnite, Destiny, whatever, but that does cost a lot of money from developers to keep that going. So overall, it seems like Sony's about to go push for an impossible goal. If they hit it, that'll be very, very impressive, and I can't wait to go and see what they go on from there. Now, some other kind of intriguing stuff is that a lot of folks right now are still upset with this Jedi game, which, by the way, might be streamed up on Twitch. The unacceptable to see that this massive company like EA is okay to list down all lock companies in the new Star Wars instead of the actual staff that worked hard on it and need this boost for their career. So basically follow the guidance if you need. So basically they, for some odd reason, did a lot of stuff that didn't go and include, like they weren't really being worked on in the actual game itself. It's kind of like if you worked on it, like sometimes people who did maybe even 20 minutes worth of work will still be added to the game just as a whatever. So as of right now, it seems like they did not want to go and do the staff, and they wanted to go and just maybe mention the companies. So a good example is they're like, hey, here's Synthesis International, or like EC Innovation. Instead of being like, hey, here's John, Sarah, Bridget, and whoever who worked on the game, which in all honesty, like if it's not that hard to add, you probably should just go and add it. Like, number one, people are proud most of the time of their work when they come into games, but as well, a lot of folks just want to go and like see themselves. Like, it's cool. Like, if I literally was in the title screen for a movie or a game, I would sit there at the end of every game or every movie and wait there patiently to see my name. It's like an honor system. It's like a moral system. So for some odd reason now, EA did not and never did include this in their games themselves. No one really necessarily knows why, but they did kind of take the easier route out, and people are not happy with it. Obviously, some folks are like, who cares, it's whatever, but I'm sure the folks whose names did not get included are a little bit more on the upset side than anything else. So as you guys can kind of see all this, people have been pretty upset. Even though this comment saying like, why are the game localization people considered third-class professionals? They work equally as hard and must be credited. It's not multi-millionaire lock agencies and companies that need this notability boost. So it's those guys, like I said, trying to be like calling out like intra-worlds or like all correct group when there's like a random maybe guy, girl, Sarah, John, whoever, who was working on the game itself, and they deserve the proper credit, whether it's for their resumes or just being proud of the system. Either or. Now, a little bit of a quick wind down too. We also have a few other games coming out over here in case you guys are curious and everything coming up soon. Hogwarts Legacy for the PS4 version if you guys have been waiting. We have Lego 2K Drive. I will probably not be picking this one up, but I know some of you guys have younger kids or enjoy the Lego series. Nothing wrong with that. Some more intriguing ones that I want to check out is Lord of the Rings Gollum. That's a big maybe for me, I think, for my types of games, but the Lord of the Rings Gollum is going to be coming out later on this month on the 25th of May, in case you guys are curious on that. Street Fighter 6, which I actually did a sponsor for the demo on, interestingly enough, so in case you guys are also curious on that, we did go and check out Street Fighter 6, and then after, it was kind of a good time. We enjoyed it. I'll see if I want to pick up the main game or not, but it is coming out soon. I know a lot of you guys on the consoles enjoy the fighting games. Diablo, which I'm going to no life. You guys have no idea. I may not do this on content for Twitch or whatever, but I will probably be playing a lot of this whenever it does come on out. Final Fantasy 16, which I am so excited for, and I do believe we will see a little bit more information on this, obviously, as we get closer to the launch. And of course, don't forget there is a Final Fantasy 16 bundle and new controller and everything else coming out in the very near future, in case you guys are curious and all of that too as well. So some pretty cool games coming up in the near future as well. And I'm funny enough too, to fun little quick stories. Ace Attorney, funny enough, is still going very well worldwide. The nice little courtroom meme game, which I've always heard of, never have actually played in my myself. And last but not least, apparently the Diablo 4 Collector's Edition, speaking of Diablo 4, has turned out and some people are loving it, and it's looking pretty cool. I'm not really a big collector's guy myself unless companies send me stuff, but overall it's nice to see that most people have enjoyed the Diablo side. So give me your thoughts and comments down below. Have a great rest of your nights. We'll have more videos all throughout this week. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below, and of course we have the Amazon links too as well. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on.